this is going to be a part 2 to the create the one sheet, and I just want to talk briefly, if I can, about testing and trying, and as that relates to my podcast one sheet. Listen in.
You know when someone is selling from stage and at the end the audience gets up and rushes to the back of the room to buy? That's a table rush. My name is Misha Z, and the Table Rush Talk Show is all about bringing you the tools, strategies, and tactics that you can use to grow your audience and inspire them to buy.
Okay, so I am, per the last episode, creating a podcast one sheet per requirements of the guesting industry. If you want to guest on people's shows, obviously I'm hyper-focused on guesting on podcast shows right now, you need a one sheet. You just kind of got to have one. And I need to make one. That's a step that's holding me back. I want to make it easy. I'm going to document the process of creating the one sheet so I can help you create your one sheet when you're going on a podcasting tour, right? When you're going on your guest speaker tour, I'm like, hey, let's go, let's get you ready. So, obviously step 1 is going to be announce the tour. I've done that. I've gotten amazing feedback. I've already gotten quotes I've got to get out. This is in regards to testimonial stuff, by the way. Because it's brought attention to me. It's brought engagement to me. People are interested. So when you're going on your guest speaking tour, you're going to announce you're going on tour. And I've got a structure on how you should announce that. And it creates interest and excitement. And it also shines a big spotlight on what you do. So people are like, oh my gosh, that's amazing you do that. Let's talk about that. I need help with that. Quickly, I wanted to say too, for recording this, I'm using the Wireless Go 2, and I'm just using the native microphone on the Wireless Go 2. So the Rode Wireless Go 2 has it's a little bulky of a clip-on microphone. It's more than sufficient. I put the windscreen on there. It's got a really cool, my favorite feature about the native microphone on the Rode Wireless Go 2 is this little windscreen it's got. It's kind of cute actually, and it's really easy to, once you figure out how to clip it on, it's really cool, super effective. So I am going to see how how this sounds, because it's a windy day. I was like, all right, I'm going walking today. I want to use a mic that has a windscreen, and I want to try a clip-on lav mic. And the one that I have that has a windscreen is the little clip-on Wireless Go 2 mic. And keep in mind that I plug in, I believe it's a DAP mic, lav mic, into the Wireless Go 2 little box. So it's got its own mic, or you can plug another lav mic into it. Anyway, too much information perhaps for you, but if you're in the content creation space, hey Max, shout out to my friend Max. He is a musician, and man, he gave me, a great podcast testimonial, but we just had an amazing conversation about content creation. Me from the podcasting side, him from the musician side. I'm going to interview him. I think you will have a ton to learn from Max, so you have that to look forward to, because he is officially making a living as an artist, as a musician. Like, he's making a living as a musician. Young 20s. He's in his young 20s, but he's like, yeah, man, I'm making enough to pay my rent, quit my other jobs, take my girlfriend out to dinner when I want. He's crushing it. So anyway, you have that to look forward to. young Max and content creation, our content creation interview. So back to it, talked about the mic, talked about Max, back to the one sheet. So got to create this one sheet, and testing and trying. So experimenting, right? I'm somehow have had this big mental shift, and 80% of me is now willing to test and try. So in other words, create my one sheet and start using it and see how it works. I told you about my idea of how I was going to create the bio part of it on the last episode, so listen to that for maybe you can pull some ideas from it. But I think it's like test it and try, right? Where 20% of me these days needs perfection. 80% of me now is like, you know what? Perfection is a illusion. The way you're going to find perfection is by testing and trying. You got to start. You got to throw it out there. Throw that one sheet out there. See if it resonates, and tweak it to perfection. My coach Vince in the 2CCX, Russell Brunson's high-end coaching program, said, hey, what makes Russell Brunson's perfect webinar perfect isn't necessarily that it's perfect out of the gate. He gives you the framework on how to get started with it and create it. But what makes it perfect is he tells you to test and try. Go every week live with your webinar and adjust accordingly with the feedback that you get to make it perfect. And I've had that shift. I'm so excited because it makes things so much easier to just test and try. It's an experiment. It's fun. Like, have fun with it, right? Test and try. And so I find very many of the one sheets that I see out there very sterile, but they're effective because people are using them. But I want to put my own spin on the one sheet that puts my flavor on it, and I'm willing today to risk, rejection. But really what I'm hoping to do is have the way I create my one sheet attract the type of people that I want to be interviewed by, that I can help their audience. And I believe the way I'll create my one sheet is so test it and try it. Sorry, I got cars going by, a ton of people. All of a sudden I'm in heavy traffic land. Oh my gosh, I forgot how busy it gets right here. I'm gonna duck behind a corner quick. Oh my gosh, the perils of being a content creator, podcast creator on the fly. Man, there is cars everywhere. I'm trying to walk down quiet streets, but there's all this remodeling going on. Holy mackerel. Whatever. Wind's blowing. I cannot wait to hear the sound quality of this one. Okay, so test and try. The way something gets perfect is you're testing and trying it. You're testing and trying it to get it to. That's how you're creating the perfection on it. Is the iterative process. There we go. The iterative process. Holy mackerel. And so iterations. It's kind of like saying you try one thing, see what this response is, you tweak it and change it, and you have the upgraded version of it, a new iteration of it. And so I'm hoping that this iterative process will pull the type of podcast guest host that I can serve the best, that will resonate with the most, hopefully, and that I will speak best to their audience, right? Like maybe my one sheet will be not a little non-traditional, but it will speak to the host. Yes, so I would encourage you to do the same. And back to Max. Max was talking about his iterative process. I was talking about to Max about being a content creator, his content being music, and his iterative process to get the songs good enough. And oftentimes what we think is not good enough is more than good enough. And that was the really, really fun part of Max's and I's conversation. Okay, so there we go. We've talked about the one sheet. I'll stop here. Yes, I'm documenting my creative process of the one sheet so that when I'm helping you go on your guest speaking tour, we can crank out your one sheet, an effective one sheet, quickly and effectively. That's it. I'm done. Have a good day.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Table Rush Talk Show. For resources to help you sell your stuff, go to belove.media/resources. That's belove.media/resources. And be sure to subscribe, comment, 5-star, and share. Thank you again for listening.